Hello, my name is Francisco Rodriguez Weil, and I was a costume designer for the film MadFabulous. Well, the black and white costume is definitely a very iconic look for Henry. Most of his records were destroyed by the family after his death. So we have this iconic look and very little information about it. So the first step was to try to work out what the picture was saying, what the costume was about, how it folded, the type of fabric, the embroidery, the details, and from there work out a design to then replicate. The bodies, there's little information about it. We know it's Triton. There is an image in the archives of him holding a trident. We specifically decided to not use the trident but the staff, because that's the image widely known of him, widely reproduced, and we wanted that to remain as close as possible to what most people are familiar with. So what we did was that I worked out all the details along with Sarah Faye and her team of that costume and they, hand by hand, they put every single jewel and pearl and diamanté onto the costume. That's how we work on that costume. And then we had to be very inventive, because the thicknesses of the fabrics that we find currently are very different from period fabrics. So we had to find alternative ways of recreating, for example, the leggings. There was quite a bit of a challenge, and we used thermals of different kinds and thicknesses to recreate that look. And it's built in different parts. So you have so the bodice is 4 different parts that come together, for example. And then I got the rings as close as possible to the original photograph. I got some made, some of them I found. Yeah, it's quite an iconic look, and it was a very fun one to do as well. So that look I'm very proud of. I had a great team, and Sarah and her team were fantastic and worked on it for a very long time. And then I designed something for Lily that will be equivalent in terms of impact to Henry's, or almost, or thereabouts, with a teal and Edwardian period suit with also we made for her a big headpiece. In the middle of the headpiece there is the sun, like the Sun King, a bit of a nod to France and the Sun King of France. And there are 2 butterflies, one in the color that we identify with Henry, and one with a color we identify Lily. So one pink and one blue. And then we also see 2 turtle doves representing love, and the pearls and other bits and pieces which represent them, and which have been the leitmotif of Henry and Lily throughout the film. We use iconic colors to represent them both, and we are going to the old interpretation of colors. So basically before 1940s, I think, pink was very much associated to men, because it was seen as the watered down version of red, which is passion and blood and all that, and then women were associated with blue, which was purity. So of course nowadays it's a very complete different association to the colors and the genders, but precisely I like that game. I like that play with identity and color.